Hey guys, my name is Jacob Berry and I help medium and large power sports and motorcycle dealerships with their online processes. So today I wanted to talk about word tracks. Yeah, word tracks, scripts, call guides, whatever you want to call them. Word tracks are written in a way that help encourage the customer and guide the conversation in a predictable way. And they want to keep us on the path for the end goal. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So sales scripts are structured dialogues or templates designed to help reps communicate effectively with your potential customers. Who wouldn't want that? They provide a framework for handling objections, building rapport, qualifying leads, and ultimately closing deals. The best scripts are adaptable, conversational, and focused on guiding the prospect towards the next step in the buying process. Word tracks also give us an opportunity to funnel the customer by asking targeted questions and starting at that green light. We ask targeted questions to get the customer in a thought process and excited about the store visit, not the buying of the vehicle. They've already made that decision. They want to visit the store. You got to help them with that. But more importantly, they provide an easy to follow structure for getting to the end goal. You know, the appointment, the store visit, from an entry level phone rep all the way to an experienced phone assassin. So here's what we know about scripts and how they can be applied in our power sports motorcycle industry. First of all, there are many different types of sales script. It's not a one fits all type of scenario. There are inbound call scripts, which are used when customers call in, usually responding to an ad or seeing a phone number on the website, or maybe even a previous interaction. These are the toughest because they're unknown. The phone just rings and you answer it, right? We've got outbound call scripts, and these are used primarily for follow ups, for first time leads, re engagement, or even for cold outreach. We've got internet lead response scripts, which are structured responses for leads coming from online forums, chat inquiries, and third party listing sites, typically sent through an email or chat. We've got objection handling scripts, which are focused on responding to customer pushbacks like pricing, financing, trade ins, or even competitors. Finally, we have the appointment setting script, and this is probably the most important. Once you've gotten through those other scripts, you need a structured plan on how to set the next commitment, which we call an appointment, to come in. They're designed to schedule that visit, and we do it in a very specific way. And for bonus, we could add in some text scripts. I do like the idea of having short form, 120 characters long, quick scripts that you can send through a text message. So let's talk about the key components of a great sales script. What makes it awesome? Well, the good news is you can write these, right? You sitting there listening to this, you can write your own well-crafted script. There's a couple things that it should include. First of all, it's going to be a strong opening with a question. So the reason why we do a question is because it maintains an amount of control. Now, that could be just as simple as, hello, am I speaking with John? John, this is Jacob from XYZ Power Sports. Did you contact us about our big sale and promotion going on? Right. So there's a question right out of the gate that makes it exciting. Whoa, there's a sale going on. Verifying the name, right? And it's engaging right off the bat, right? It's not, hey, I'm following up with you because you submitted something online. That's what everybody else says. So see if you can open up with a strong opening question right from the get-go after verifying the lead info, the name. Okay. Building rapport. That's probably the thing that we don't do any good at, right? So this is constantly a moving target, but these are a few personalized questions or observations that can help us establish a question. I've talked about this stuff before. You can start building personal rapport through a couple things like pets, work experience, sports, right? You can talk about that stuff just to kind of get on the same page with a person as a human. And then you can kind of go into the transactional rapport building. Like, okay, are you looking for a weekend toy with this motorcycle? You're looking to commute, right? You're asking questions about the vehicle that they have an inquiry on. Okay. Fact finding questions, right? So this is kind of in the qualifying stage, right? So understanding the customer's needs in terms of budget, in terms of if they have a trade-in, financing preferences or cash, and then urgency, right? So are you looking for new or pre-owned? What are you currently riding? Is that the vehicle you're wanting to trade in? Are you taking advantage of our low interest financing or paying cash total? So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can go through the qualifying of the deal. Overcoming objections. So anticipate that you will get an objection on every single phone call and you will be prepared for it. They should anticipate these things even before the customer says them so that you've got an answer ready to go, right? Price is usually a big factor if that's going to be disclosed during the phone call. And then a clear call to action, right? You always need a clear call to action. Let's say you got through this phone call. What happens next? Well, we always need to direct the customer to the next step. I mean, the best way to make sure that this model fits your needs, Mr. Customer, is to have you in the store, meet with my manager, and let's look at a couple different options. What day works best for you, today or tomorrow? So when we're talking about building all these elements into the script, there are a couple other things that you don't want to skip over. First of all, understand that we are in the motorcycle and power sports business. So there should be an excitement or lifestyle piece of it that's part of every single script that you write. Unlike traditional automotive sales, usually our motorcycle and power sport buyer has different motivations, such as a hobby, a weekend thing, a family thing. And so definitely build in that piece of excitement and or lifestyle. Instead of just selling the vehicle features, you got to sell the experience, right? So, Mr. Customer, that Polaris Razor is an absolute beast on the trails. Have you taken it out yet? How many of your buddies have one that they ride, right? Have you ever ridden in one before? What is your riding experience, right? Are you a first timer or have you been involved in this sport for a while? So, it's the experience, oh, imagine, hey, there's you're on a weekend camping trip or you're out in the woods ripping a new trail. There's a lot of different ways to go about that. And you can definitely write that type of excitement into a script as a answer to a question, right? Financing is a common hurdle, right? So many buyers don't even realize that they can finance a motorcycle ATV just like they can their car or truck. It's a little different. And then you and I know that financing is kind of the lifeblood of our business. But if we're not always talking about taking the steps to own this under a payment plan, then we're already losing out. Assuming that the customer always wants to pay cash or all they care about is the price, the total price, we're already at a loss because financing is very important in our business and we do need to bring it up first and foremost early in the conversation. Trade-in conversations can be tricky, but they are important, right? Some customers don't even realize that a lot of dealers take in trades. As good or bad as their motorcycle may be, a lot of dealers out there are accepting trades because the customer can only have one, right? Or they need to get rid of one to get another. So make sure that you're talking about, hey, what are you riding currently? What's the year? What's the make? What's the model? And you're asking questions like how many miles are on it, what kind of accessories, what do you like most about it, right? And we're building that rapport on the vehicle that they're currently operating and they feel good about it. And one thing too is the private market is kind of tricky, right? A lot of you dealers out there that I talk to, you're buying a lot of bikes off of Facebook Marketplace simply because the private market, when trying to buy private to private, it's not a great experience, right? You got to meet them somewhere. You got to, do a cash only deal. A lot of private sellers, don't do financing, right? So, there's a lot of tricky things to navigate in the private sales market, private to private, right? So why not just take it in? Some states even allow for a tax advantage. So, let's take advantage of this, right? A lot of customers think that they can get a better price selling it privately. Why sales scripts matter? So sales scripts matter because of four big components. Number one, consistency, right? So let's just paint the scenario. You've got somebody that's handling your phone calls, your outbound, your inbound, doesn't matter, right? But they are on a phone as a job function, right? You want to ensure that the messaging gets a strong, structured response, right? What I mean by that is like, what would you say? You're the manager paying a person to speak on behalf of your dealership. What is it that you would want them to say? Do they even know what to say? And how are you spot checking that? Scripts are the first and foremost way that you can make sure that whatever needs to be said on every single phone call, there's a consistency measure in there because you're putting words in front of a person to speak, right? So, this can change also. It can be seasonally. We're coming out of winter here. We're coming into spring. A lot of riding season is happening right now. There's a lot of inventory. We've got, financing promotions, rebates out there, right? So, the monthly stuff, the seasonal stuff, it can all be added, adjusted, crossed out, rewritten, but it's consistent and you know what your people are saying on your behalf. It's also a great training tool, right? So training is not something that's heavily focused on in our industry. Unfortunately, this is coming from a trainer that talks to dealers and reps every single day about situational, situational things in their job, right? Hey, what do I say if this person says this, or what do I do when this person has this deal, right? So these training tools on how to sell and how to be conversational, it can ramp up some people faster with proven scripts. And the role playing can definitely be something to sharpen that skill, right? Different objections, different rebuttals. You have managers to reps, reps to managers, reps to reps, managers to managers. Everyone can role play, including you, the person listening to this. If you haven't role played in a while, I suggest you blow the dust off there and start going through some different scenarios with your people. It also improves conversions, right? So a script will help. Eliminate dead end conversations. You ever been on a phone before and sometimes the conversations just kind of go nowhere? They peter out and there's really no direction to it. The customer will start demanding information that's unnecessary. They'll start asking a whole bunch of questions that your reps may not be ready for. And they don't have the rebuttals to the objections. But more importantly, it's streamlining the process to get to the end goal, which is what? Well, that's what you determine. In my scripts, it's always an appointment. The closure of the call is going to be with me and the customer committing to a specific date and time to come into my store and look at some inventory and a product specialist, right? And then the last thing is that it boosts confidence, right? So giving a sales rep a roadmap to handling certain scenarios and objections, it's kind of like John Wick, right? John Wick in the movie, he never runs out of bullets, right? He's always got a bullet to shoot and he shoots a lot of bullets. So that's all you're giving to your reps is bullets, right? How can I fight back to the customer that's firing at me and I'm going to fire at him, right? I mean that, jokingly, but you always want something to be said about, I know how to handle this objection. I know how to handle that objection. Here's all the different types of objections, and I've got a variety of different responses to each. Okay. So let's kind of talk about what it takes to get started with using a script. Well, first of all, you need to be prepared. Okay. And I'm taking some of this information right from our training course called Internet Sales Coaching. The first thing is that you need to be prepared. Okay. So you got to know what your reason for the call is. You have to have your script ready, depending on what type of call it is, whether it be a quote request, a finance application, a trade-in request, right? There's all sorts of different website forms that are intent based, meaning they filled out this form instead of the other one because this one spoke to them for that reason. There's also cycle trader leads, there's moto hunt leads, there's this or that leads, Facebook marketplace, all sorts of different leads coming in from everywhere. So have your script ready based upon what that type of intent lead is. And then be prepared with your rebuttals. Okay. Think about it real quickly. What is this person potentially going to ask me or rebut against, or what have I said in the past to other customers on the phone? And they have all had an objection against this one thing that I've said, right? We were prepared with our rebuttals. And in our training, we call it power phrases. And by the way, guys, if you want to go to internetsalescoaching.com, I do have some free resources. Some of this stuff is available on there for free, or send me a message through that website and we'll get it over to you. So be prepared is number one, right? This is the steps to the sale. There are several of them. Number two is verify. So in this script that you're going through, you always want to ask by name. Is John there? Is Mary there? Is Mike there? Right? You want the person who filled out the lead to be talking on the phone, right? That's the person that you need to get a hold of. Not too often does somebody have a house phone anymore where multiple people are answering it, but you just want to kind of verify, hey, is this Jacob? Am I talking with this person? Is he there? Right? There's different ways to ask that, for obviously various reasons. Number three is you got to get the green light. So this is the first thing that we take control of, right? Which is the question asking. Now, if you kind of think about your own experience in life, typically when there's a question, it's followed up with an answer. So why not take this psychological advantage that we've been trained ever since we were little tiny kids, and you ask questions to maintain the control of the conversation. Now, I'm not talking about an FBI interrogation with the spotlight on your face. I am talking about a normal rapport building list of questions that is, put down in a bullet point, even if you want. And it can be starting from, is now a good time to talk? Did I catch you at a good time? Did you call about our big sale promotion? Right? It's something that's organic sounding that can get you through to the next set of questions, which typically leads to qualifying, right? So after you've maintained that, after you've got the control from the first question, you want to introduce yourself. Always professionally introduce yourself, right? This is Jacob. I'm with XYZ Powersports. And the reason for my call today is, and that's number 5, the reason for calling. You're going to go through and start reading your script. Well, Mr. Customer, the reason for my call today is I wanted to say thank you. It looks like you showed some interest in a year, make, model. You came to our demo over the weekend. You just submitted your finance application. That is my reason for calling, and I'm repeating it back to you so you know why I'm on the phone with you now. Now, there are going to be a couple qualifying questions in that, and that is where the meat and potatoes of the script is. But the next one, the number 6, set the appointment. Okay, great. So the next step is, after I've asked you all these qualifying rapport building questions, great. The next step is to have you come in, meet with my manager, take a look at a couple different models, check out some options on financing or cash purchase, and take it from there. Does that sound good? Does that sound so bad? And then you want to go right into the appointment setting. Does today or tomorrow work best for you? Now, I'm really going to quickly go into an appointment funnel. Now, if you've never heard me talk about an appointment funnel before, it's really easy. It's just offering the customer a time, two different times in a funnel type fashion, meaning like it gets really big to really small. Okay. And I usually will start out with a today or tomorrow because I want that customer's business now, right? So it's always going to be today or tomorrow. Now, if it's 5:55 p.m. and you close at 6 p.m. and this is your last phone call of the day, obviously you don't say today, but does tomorrow or the next day work? Does tomorrow or this weekend work, right? So you're trying to nail down one of those times that says, hey, I'm going to try to put you in one of these time frames, these daily time frames. And then once they pick one of those, you want to go with a morning or afternoon or evening, right? It depends on what time of day that you're best available, right? So again, to recap, the funnel is today or tomorrow, morning or afternoon, and then you start getting into specific times. And the bonus tip I always give on this is that when you give a specific time, you want to do it in quarter increments, not 25s, 15s, right? So on a 60-minute clock, quarter increments are 15 and 45. So you always want to say something like, okay, I've got you, I've got today, I've got this afternoon. Okay, Mr. Customer, what I have available for you is a 3:15 or a 3:45. 3:15, 3:45, 12:15, 2:45, 2:45, or 4:15. Whatever you feel comfortable with, always make it ending in a 15 or 45. Why, you may ask? There's something odd about the quarter intervals of time that makes it sound more important. Let's back up just for a moment. Everything that we've done so far to this customer that we're doing this script with has been audible, right? It's all been verbal. They're not looking at anything. They're not holding anything. All they are is hearing your voice, thinking about it with the dialogue in their head and trying to come up with an answer. So as you say, here's my two times, my two different times, option A or option B, this time or that time, when you phrase it in a 15 or a 45, it becomes a little bit more important. Here's how I know this works. Number one, I've got the data to prove it. But number two, other industries use it. Call your dentist, call your doctor. 9 times out of 10, they will use the same exact format for setting an appointment with you. Try it out. Let me know how that goes. So those are the steps to the sale. Those are the different reasons on why we would want to use a script. So it's a short recording today. I hope that's been helpful. Obviously, I'm a big advocate of scripts and using scripts and writing scripts and adjusting scripts and coming up with scripts for all sorts of different scenarios. You can put them in front of seasoned people. You can put them in front of entry-level people, the new person, the old person, the transferred person. You can use them for sales. You can use them for service. You can use them for parts. Anything that requires a human talking on the phone to another human, you can write a script for if you really think about it. Now, if you need a template, let me know. If you need some guidance, let me know. We're willing to help out on all of these things, and we do it for absolutely free. So thank you for listening. Hope that was helpful. We'll see you next time.
Dealers, discover the power of MotoHunt's Inventory Ads program, designed to drive leads and sales for your motorcycle dealership. Our dynamic ads automatically showcase your current in-stock inventory on Google and Meta products catalogs, reaching buyers exactly when they're searching. With targeted ad campaigns, seasonal adjustments, and real-time performance tracking, you can optimize your ad spend and see impressive results. These are not your traditional SEM campaigns. These are product ads that show customers real-time motorcycles and powersports for sale and direct them directly to your landing page. Sign up today and get a marketing edge over your competition with MotoHunt.